there's an old expression that says if you want to feed someone for a day, give them a fish. But if you want to feed somebody for a lifetime, teach him or her how to fish. That's a phenomenal expression. And it really, really, really applies to our show today, because in several areas, this institution is teaching young people how to fish, which in fact will give them the tools that they need to eat a lifetime. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, and I'm interviewing today Ms. Cassandra Washington, who's the CEO of Hutchins Career Center. Hutchins Career College and Career Charter Academy, let me say it right. And I am so impressed with this institution because it's really teaching young people how to fish in several different areas. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for coming on. First of all, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I am Cassandra Washington, and I serve Bibb County School District as the CEO for Hutchins College and Career Academy and the Executive CTAE Director. I have been in Bibb County since 2002, and I have been in several roles. I actually have been a member teaching CTAE Pathways. I'm an instructional coach, CTAE supervisor, and now serving as the CTAE director.
Well, I'm going to say this several times, but I want to congratulate you and everybody, the Board of Education, the superintendent, everybody associated with this phenomenal institution. And then, I'm not just speaking from what I heard, I'm speaking from what I've experienced, because I had the opportunity to go up to the culinary department and have lunch.
Yes.
And, the kids fixed the food and they served it. So that showed me then that young people are getting hands-on experience in preparing themselves and developing skills that are marketable and that can be utilized, when they become adults. What are some of the other skills that they learn here?
Currently, we are offering 10 pathways.
How many?
10.
Wow.
And they are aligned to the Lieutenant Governor and Nathan Deal's high demand pathways. We offer banking. We also offer nursing and healthcare, hospitality, travel and tourism. We offer construction, graphics communication, aviation, teaching as a profession, and we also have aviation coming aboard.
Wow. I can tell you in charge of that, the way you rattle them off. Okay, so tell me a little bit about the process of how it works from a student learning about, those pathways to going through it, just give me the mechanics of Hutchins.
Yes, sir. Actually, we are a program of Bibb County School District, and we serve all 6 high schools. Students have an opportunity to come to Hutchins College and Career Academy part-time, and they select their pathway that they have an interest in. And so if they're coming in culinary, they would actually select the pathway in culinary, and they get an opportunity to participate in 3 pathway courses, and it is attached to college courses as well. The goal is that students leave Hutchins College and Career Academy with stackable credentials, and they're really part of that emerging workforce. And then the other piece of the puzzle is that we have real-world experiences attached to every pathway. So when you spoke about Compass Rose Cafe, that is their work-based learning experience. So we have stakeholders come in, and they are actually able to participate in a 4-course meal prepared by culinary students, and it's actually led by our executive chef. And the students actually get a chance to take what they've learned in the classroom and take it to a real-world experience. That ensures that a student is ready for the workforce. They're actually aligned to industry standards. They leave as ServSafe certified. They leave with college credentials such as pastry cook, prep cook, which allows them to walk into any restaurant in the community and be able to work.
So there is a certification process
Yes.
involved in going through these different pathways.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
what does that certification entail?
It's aligned to industry credentials. So, for example, our nursing students leave as certified nursing assistants, and that
Wow.
gives them the opportunity to actually go to work. The goal is that a student participating in Hutchins College and Career Academy can become a part of our community workforce or have a step ahead when they go post-secondary. We want our kids to leave and not really have to use student loans. They can actually go post-secondary and work and develop skill set. We also try to build connections with all of our industry partners in the community so our students can actually get
You know,
real
there's an old
experience.
expression that says, you know, everybody has a button, you know, and the way to motivate people is to find out what that button is that causes them to be motivated to move in a certain direction. And the thing about this is that, you know, a lot of people, because, you know, when there are discipline problems or other kinds of problems, they think that students aren't interested, but that's not the truth. They're interested in something, and I think it's remarkable that what Hutchins does is it helps to identify that button. For example, we're here at Hutchins, you know, in the videography department, and we got young people, you know, filming this show. And, you know, I'm just simply, I told you when we started, to see that interest, it really just gives me goosebumps, because it shows that our young people are really, really interested in things. And if we do what we need to do, then, you know, we can help them to get a job and keep them off the street and help them, you know, to go to college and do things of that nature, which is extremely important. Now, how many students at this point do you have?
Currently, we have 325 students. That is a huge increase from last year. We've been in our building now. This is our second year of being in this facility.
Okay, we're going to talk about how long the students stay in the program and things of that nature. But first, this is a call to action.
Call to action.
We're going to break for just a minute. This is your host, Alex Havisham, interviewing Ms. Cassandra Washington, who is the CEO of Hutchins College and Career Academy. We'll be right back.
Williams S. Hutchins College and Career Charter Academy. That is a mouthful. As of June 12th, we were approved by the Georgia Department of Education as being its third conversion charter school for the state of Georgia.
We want to build that 21st century student, which means that student is going to be duly prepared for the workforce and for college.
We're excited, really, because we've gotten so many applications from people across the state of Georgia that really want to come to us and be a part of this mechanism. Being a charter allows us with that flexibility to even hire those industry certified people and hire them in a different vein because they do know the work. They know what needs to be done to ensure that every child is college and career ready.
As the CTAE Director for Bibb County School District, I am very excited about this new opportunity of having a college and career academy in our school district. This allows us to form industry partnerships, and the industry partnerships will help us build career pathways that will allow students to be part of an emerging workforce.
When I think about college and career readiness, that is, I guess, the buzzword and the phrase all over. But we were just delving into it very minimally, I believe, from the course offerings that we did have at Hutchins. We only were kind of moving ourselves in certain body of work because our other schools were magnets of sorts and had themes. But now with this college and career pathways piece, I believe this is the push that we're really thinking of having young people who are really interested in different ways of looking at what their career path should be.
A lot of times when students leave high schools, they're not either ready for the workforce or ready for college. They're missing some of those, what we call soft skills, the ability to go in an interview, the ability to work in high-performing teams, the ability to make those necessary connections to go into maybe the business sector. What we're going to do here at Hutchins, we're going to give that student that opportunity. We're going to pair them with a mentor. We're going to give them some interview skills. We're going to give them some of that real, what we call real life experiences in the workforce, and also we're going to prepare prepare them for college. So that is our focus. That's what we're trying to do here at Hutchins College and Career Academy.
It will allow our kids to have dual enrollment opportunities, which will allow them to really be prepared when they walk into the college classroom. They will take college credit on our campus, and then it will articulate with the local universities or universities in the surrounding areas. This opportunity will allow us to truly build the emerging workforce for the Middle Georgia area.
We've got so many different opportunities. We already offer 6 of the 10 pathways, but the pathways that we're looking for are cosmetology. We're looking at a component that has to do with our STEM component, which has to do with healthcare. We have another component that has to do with automotive, that component, and graphics arts.
With our governance board, we are a true conversion charter, which means that we have a governance board, and that governance board does exactly what it states. It governs the school. The governance board is made up of our community members. It's made up of our colleges and our universities. We have some business sector members from Macon, and it's really, really a representation of the entire Macon community.
I'm very, very excited because the principal, the director of our CTAE program, our colleges in which we've touched base with, our chamber, our workforce development agency, Central Georgia Tech, Middle Georgia College, all these different components, and many, many more, Helms College. Many of these different components have sat down around the table with us to ensure that we're going in the right direction, that we're moving this process forward so that when we think about just these 10 pathways, there's no telling where we can
Call
go.
to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, interviewing Ms. Cassandra Washington, CEO of Hutchins College and Career Academy, and I'm really just having fun doing it for 2 reasons. First of all, I believe, they used to say that a person necessarily had to go to college. But you can learn a skill. There are some technicians and some artisans who make as much money as principals and doctors do. So the reason that this makes me so excited is that I realize that everybody can have the opportunity to be meaningful. Everybody who comes through Hutchins anyway can have the opportunity to be meaningful and productive citizens with all of these pathways that you have over here at Hutchins. Matter of fact, I want to tell her, I got a testimony. We're not in church. Well, Pastor, I got a testimony. I just happened to have met Miss Paige Welch, who's your graphic instructor. Matter of fact, I called her and said, I'm the publisher of the Black Page. I said, I'm laying out a publication. Do you have anybody who that might be able to assist with this? She sent me a young lady that was phenomenal, well trained, and frankly, the young lady laid out Miss Brooklyn Thomas. She laid out most of the book. As a matter of fact, I gave her a job, and she produced the cover, for the Black Pages. So I think, Grandma used to say there's proof in the pudding.
Yes, it is.
So I got this young lady from Hutchins College and Career Academy and put her to work immediately, working on a very, very complicated software program called InDesign. And she learned how to operate it here. So talk about some of the other pathways and some of the other success stories.
I will. And that's the goal of Hutchins College and Career Academy, is really about producing that emerging workforce. So kids have an opportunity to select a path, whether it's going directly into college or going directly into the workforce. You want every student that leaves the county school district to have a quality of life, and it doesn't matter which path you select. And so when you think about culinary, we talked about that earlier, we have students already working in the community at our local restaurants.
Earning
paychecks and have graduated and can actually move up the ladder. And we've had testimonies come back to say, if you continue this process, we know exactly where to come get our workforce, because the kids walked in ready. They had the credentials, the knowledge, and the skill set. We've actually had kids go to work at the hospital, at Coliseum, and Navicent with CNA. And that's important because those kids can actually work while they're working on their BS for nursing.
You mean they
and
get
go
a
in.
certificate as a certified nursing
Yes,
assistant?
and we had 100% passing rate. And that is amazing, but the uniqueness is that our teachers are industry certified. They're not necessarily certified the traditional way. They're coming in from the industry, so they bring in that industry expertise.
They know what they're doing.
Right, and they are very strong. So, and we try to align what we're teaching in the classroom to industry credentials. So the young lady that you had, she had been taught on InDesign. So she was ready for
Right,
work.
she was.
She did not need to go through another program. She was ready for
She
work.
was, she was.
So the same with construction. Those students leave as a certified construction worker, which is credentialed from Central Georgia Tech. So they can go directly into the workforce and start working. And that's the main thing we want to do, is provide that with the students. And they have the work experience attached. In October, we will be opening up a credit union that's open up to the community, that students will actually run with Mid-South Federal Credit Union. So you think about the life skill of financial literacy plus working in a financial institution right here on campus.
Let me interject something right
Yes,
there.
sir.
I mean, I think that reflects the importance of public and business support for education.
Yes.
You know, we all have a responsibility to make this a better community. And when you think about, Dr. Washington, having an increase in the number of young people who are going in the community that's got skills, you know, just think about the effect that it's going to have on the tax base, on the reduction in crime, on community support, volunteerism, the whole thing. So I want to publicly applaud those businesses and industries that are your partners. So can you want to talk about some of them?
I can, and we have students that go to work at Geico. Geico is one of our major partners that they hire about 17 to 22 students. And the students have the opportunity after working a year to actually stay. And they will actually do tuition reimbursement. So the goal is that we provide kids with the skill set to go directly to the workforce and help remove a financial barrier for them to get additional post-secondary training. And when you think about how that impacts a community, how that changes a community, and what that will do for growing Macon, you think about the kids that are actually filming us today, and we're number 2 as a state of the film industry. We're preparing a new workforce that can actually be a part of that, where we don't have to bring in outsiders from other states to do it. And that's the goal of a college and career academy, that we can actually produce that emerging workforce, and they will stay in the community, grow the community, and then we can sit back and know we'll be well taken care of.
I'm sure there are some parents out there who are interested in, I know there are some parents because they can earn a paycheck, who are interested in their young people and their children coming here. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Havisham, interviewing Dr. Cassandra Washington, CEO of Hutchins College and Career Academy. We'll be right back.
But we have the opportunity to have something very similar to this in all of our classrooms. One of the projects that the East Blosh passed last year was to put cameras inside all of our classrooms. Cameras that have high quality, that allow students and teachers an opportunity to see themselves. And so that's one project that we have really been implementing. Related to that, and this project is now complete, is the installation of interactive panels in every classroom. When I got here 2 years ago, a little less than 2 years ago, one of the complaints I heard is that the schools aren't equitable. That technology would be put in the high school, what the high school had to be rolled down to the middle school, and then if anything was left, it might get to elementary. Well, for the first time, because of that last East Blosh, we now have interactive panels, technology in all of our schools, every one of them, every classroom. And so what I guess I'll tell you, I didn't really understand the impact. But I was at one school, and the principal just looked at me and said, I've been here for 8 years, and this has never happened. That is amazing. So when students are able to see that we value them and we put technology in, it becomes amazing. And so I will say that between those two, we have as much technology in our classrooms as any other school system in the state of Georgia. We are 21st century moving towards the middle of that century. I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, I too am proud. As a matter of fact, I can't help but notice that little pen, the VIP pen that you have
Okay.
on your lapel. And then a lot of people, you know, we asked one guy, he was not with the board, and he said what it meant, he said very important person, which may be true, but there's a deeper meaning to that pen than very important person. So talk a little bit about it.
So let's talk about that. We have values in our school system, and one of the values we have is loyalty. And the question is, how do you as a person in the school system demonstrate loyalty? So this began with having our Bibb County pen, and we asked our employees to wear it. I shared this story with them. I said, every day when I come, I'm proud. And when I pin this on my lapel, it lets me know where I'm going, what I'm going to do, and it gives me a source of pride. And I think that demonstrates loyalty. And I'll be honest, I didn't know it was going to happen, but employees started picking up and asking for the pen, and they started wearing it. And sometimes when they saw me and they didn't have it, they said, "Oh, Dr. Jones, I'm sorry, I left my pen at home."
Yeah.
I initially started off by just saying we want to help brand ourselves and let people know how proud we are to be a part of public education and the Bibb County school system. Well, what continued was I said, I got to have something I can identify people who are doing something special. And so I worked with some folks, Christy Graham for one, who's over at Vineville Academy, and I said, we need something special. And so we kind of came up with a play on words. Our strategic plan is called Victory in Our Schools. By the year 2020, we want a graduation rate of 80%. By 2025, we want it to be 90%. And people were saying to me, when am I going to see something? What's taking so long? Why aren't you there yet? And I said, we're a work in progress. In fact, we're a victory in progress. And so victory in progress became what we were. And so that became the pen. So we're VIPs. And I started wanting to give that pen out to people. And the next thing I knew, we called our first monthly meeting our VIP meeting. And I had one of our employees say, I want to be a VIP. Why can't I? Well, that's just the meeting where next thing I knew, I had my secretary saying, I want a VIP pen. I was out in the school one day and I had a substitute teacher say, I've been substituting at this school for 5 years. Why can't I be a VIP? And then the last story I'll share is I had a person come back telling me they were in a grocery store. And a person looked at it and said, oh, you're a VIP. And they said, yes, I am. And so for us, it's become a sense of pride, but it reminds us of the work we do every day. And so we're a victory in progress, and we hope that the community sees it, and we're wearing it as a sense of loyalty.
Outstanding. Okay, so what kind of We're back, and this is a call to action, and I'm your host, Alex Habersham, interviewing Dr. Cassandra Washington, and we are having a very informative, educational, heartwarming, and inspirational conversation, because I, like you and like most of the community, I believe in young people, and I think they deserve the opportunity for training and whatever it takes for them to be successful in life. So I want to congratulate you again, the Board of Education, and all of your partners and everybody that's associated with this phenomenal institution. So we talked about now what happens, I know we got some parents out there jumping up and down saying, I want my child to go to Hutchins. What's that process?
In January, we will start a brand new application process for the 2018-19 school year. And we actually go through the counselors. The principal, Ms. Barbara Austin, will come to the school. She has parent meetings, and we kind of explain the process so a lot of parents will understand the connection between the college credit and the high school credit and how we do it simultaneously. And we start an application process, and we normally run our application process from January till about end of April, and then we start accepting kids into the pathways.
Now, how long would these young people be in the program?
Most of our programs are 1 year. However, we do have some programs
so
that
it'll
are
be
2
for a
years.
year.
It is for a whole year.
Wow.
So within that year, the students walk away with a lot of stackable
That's
credentials.
That's
So
great.
they don't leave with just one credential. My goal was to actually establish stackable credentials. So when they leave, they don't graduate Bibb County School District with just a high school diploma. They graduate with college credit, industry credentials, and work experience.
Wow.
So you leave with stackable credential where you are very remarkable to any employer.
I understand that you all are so good now to you. What is WVIP?
In October, we will actually be taking over Channel 17, working with the school district, Cox Communication, and it is going to be called WVIP. And that way we can keep our parents and students informed, and then the parents can actually be a part of running
So
that
that'll be an
channel.
educational channel on
Yes.
cable that the parents can go to. You got 1 minute to just wrap up the whole scenario as it relates to Hutchins College and Career Academy, its purpose, and anything you want to say about this institution.
I think this is a wonderful place for all students. I have seen students from one end of the spectrum to the other benefit from Hutchins College and Career Academy. Business partners are embracing our concept, and it is really remarkable to see the outcome when we come together as a community and what we can do for our students. It is also an opportunity for our kids to really understand college and career and what that means when they graduate for high school. And I think that is a wonderful opportunity for anyone.
I think so too. Now, what if a person was interested in coming to have a tour of the campus, or just what is the resource for learning more about Hutchins?
They can actually go to our website. We keep our website updated, or they can just stop by, and we are always ready to give a tour. I think once you walk into the building and you get a tour, you walk away with an aha moment, and normally people find a way to partner from that very moment they leave Hutchins.
That is so outstanding. I want to congratulate you
Thank
again.
you.
I'm so impressed and enthralled with Hutchins College and Career Academy. This is a call to action.
A call to
I'm
action.
your host, Alex Halversham. Have a great day.
www.makingblackpages.com